Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Quick Break Games, where we cover everything LEGO gaming. This video we're talking about LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, which of course is the big new LEGO game now coming out in spring 2021. And that's what this video is really going to be about. We're going to be talking about the new release date for the game, which was revealed at Gamescom last month. And we're going to be talking about when the exact date will be. We're going to be making some predictions here. And then towards the end of the video, I'm going to be discussing when we can expect more news about this game, because we haven't heard anything since Gamescom, so it should be pretty fun. So sit tight and let's go ahead and get started here. So to sort of recap the whole release date situation with LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, some crazy stuff has gone down over the past year. So initially this game was revealed in June 2019 at the E3 press conference. Hey, remember when we could have E3? Yeah, I kind of missed that, and hopefully we get it again in 2021. But yeah, at the Microsoft E3 press conference, we got the reveal of the game, and at the end of that CGI trailer, they gave us a release date of just a vague 2020. So we didn't know exactly when it was coming out. I was kind of thinking it was going to come out of June 2020, but obviously that didn't happen now. So then we didn't hear anything about the game until December 2019, and that's when we got another brief trailer, and at the end of that trailer, they once again just said 2020. There was no update on the release date, unfortunately, so that was a little bit worrisome that 6 months later they still couldn't tell us anything about the release date. So then we waited again up until May the 4th, so for Star Wars Day they finally gave us a little bit more information about the game. They gave us, like, the box art was the main thing, and at the end of that they still were just saying 2020. So at that point I was a little bit worried. Like, I was kind of predicting that the game was going to come out in June, but once that happened I knew the game wasn't coming out then, because they still hadn't given us a release date. So that was a little bit worrisome. And then we didn't hear anything again until Gamescom this year, which was just about a month ago now. I believe it was on August 27th, and they finally gave us an update where now they're saying spring 2021, and they didn't really even address the delay at all, which I thought was a little bit weird. Like, they didn't even say the game was delayed. They just ended the trailer saying spring 2021 and kind of pretended that they never said 2020 before. So that was a little bit unfortunate how they didn't acknowledge it and maybe explain. I'm guessing it's because of the whole COVID situation. I know the people at TT Games had to start working from home, so potentially this played into the delay of the game. I'm not really sure, but again, they told us 2020 back in May the 4th, so I'm assuming this delay was fairly recent, like in the past couple months. Like, maybe in like July or August they decided to delay it. They're like, hey, we're not making enough progress on this game, and they decided to delay it. But the interesting thing is on May the 7th, like a few days after they updated us on 2020, the official Star Wars YouTube channel pumped out a video. And in the video, this was just like a generic Star Wars video on the Star Wars YouTube channel. It was kind of a news recap, and in that video, there's a woman in the video that says that LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is coming October 20th, 2020. So at that point, I thought that was for sure the release date. And you know, it's very specific. So obviously, at some point, this game was going to come out October 20th, 2020. I guess they were originally going to reveal that on May the 4th, and then I guess maybe development was slowing down due to COVID and all that stuff, so they just decided to just say 2020 and not give us an exact date. And then between then and then the Gamescom reveal, they decided to delay the game. So that's a bit unfortunate. I think October 20th was the real original release date for the game, but I guess development got behind and they had to start delaying things to now spring 2021. So that's kind of the recap of everything that went down, in case you guys didn't know, to keep you guys up to date. So now we're going to be talking about when we actually expect an exact release date for the game. So, but I'm going to go ahead and look at the past. So if you look at LEGO Avengers, they did something kind of similar with that game. That game ended up coming out January 2016. But when that game was originally revealed back at E3 2015, or around that time frame, they originally just said winter. So like, it was very similar to what they're doing now with the whole spring thing. And that game ended up coming out in January, so you can kind of predict that the game's going to be coming out maybe like in the beginning or mid-spring time. And another thing I've noticed is that some websites like GameStop are listing a placeholder date of May 31st. I think GameStop's the main one that I've seen. And just so you know, this is a placeholder. I know there's some people saying, oh, the game's coming out May 31st. We had this same situation back last year when all the websites had a placeholder of December 31st, 2020. And they're doing the same thing here. So like May 31st is just a placeholder. They don't know when the exact release date is. They're just kind of putting something in there for the time being. I'm actually expecting the game to come much earlier than May 31st. And another date that I've seen speculated online on Reddit and things like that is May the 4th, because May the 4th is Star Wars Day. That's when we got the box art for the game. So what if they release the game on May the 4th? I think that would be the perfect day to release the game. I don't think it's actually going to come out on this day, and I'll explain why in a bit, but it would be a pretty great day. And it's actually a Tuesday too. And what's interesting about Tuesdays is if you look at the release dates of pretty much all the LEGO games, it's always on a Tuesday, and most other games release on Fridays now. But they're still sticking to the Tuesday date, which is like what all video games used to come out on years ago. But now it's more a Friday thing. I think May the 4th would be the absolute latest they would release this game for spring 2021. I just don't see them going into May much past that. It would just wouldn't make sense. When I think of spring, I think of like March and April. So I'm thinking this game is actually going to be coming out in late March, and the reason I say that is if you look at another LEGO Star Wars game, LEGO Star Wars 3, this was all the way back in 2011, 9 years ago now, almost 10 years ago. That game actually came out in late March, and the exact release date for that game was March 22nd, 2011. So I'm thinking they might go for a similar time frame here, and it would match the spring 2021 time frame pretty well. And just looking at the closest Tuesday to that date, and that would be March 23rd, 2021. So that's actually going to be my prediction for this video of when the game's coming out. I could be completely wrong, but just based on LEGO Star Wars 3 and things like that, I'm going to go ahead and guess March 23rd, 2021 is when we're going to get LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. And this would be fitting because it's pretty much exactly 10 years since LEGO Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars. Like, they would almost be releasing on the 10-year anniversary of that game, which is insane. So I think it would be a pretty fitting date, and I think late March would give them plenty of time to fix any bugs and whatnot that might be wrong with the game. So that's going to be what I'm going to go ahead and predict for this video. So what do you think about that release date? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think my reasoning is pretty sound going with the whole LEGO Star Wars 3 time frame? I think it makes a lot of sense. And I think that's when we can expect the game. Again, at the absolute latest is May the 4th. I know that's a really fitting date, but I think the game's going to be ready before then. That's just kind of a hunch that I have. And then one last thing I want to talk about at the end of this video is when we can expect more news about this game. I know there's already people saying, like, waiting for more news. Like, we just got news about a month ago. I'm not expecting anything more right now. I mean, the game's not coming out till spring, so they don't need to tell us anything. You know, it would be nice if they gave us like little updates every week, like if they could just give us a new screenshot once a week or something like that, that would be nice. But, you know, this is WB Games we're talking about here. They usually don't do things like that for their games. Usually they wait a long time closer to release to give us more information. But yeah, when can we expect more news? I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to get more news about this game before the end of 2020. So we might be waiting all the way till December. But I think before the end of the year, they're going to give us one more piece of news, maybe a trailer or just or some sort of article about more information about the game. Who knows? But I think we're going to get some sort of brief trailer, most likely, about the game before the end of the year. And then maybe in like February or so, as we get closer to launch, they'll give us another trailer. And then it'll be the launch trailer, then the game will come out probably in late March, as I'm predicting here. So yeah, don't expect news for a couple more months here. Again, before the end of the year, I think we're going to get something. This isn't confirmed or anything, but I just think it's very likely they're not going to go too much longer without giving us news. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, so let me know what you think of all these predictions. Do you agree with my March 23rd, 2021 date for the release date of the game? And do you think we will get news before the end of the year? Do you agree with me on that? Let me know in the comments. And if you disagree, you know, let me know your reasoning. And yeah, I know everyone's excited about this game. The delay was unfortunate, but you know, they got to get this game done. They got to get it polished up. We don't want them shipping a broken game. And also, this delay allows them to create the game on next-gen consoles, which is exciting, PS5 and Xbox Series X. Let me know if you're going to get the game on those consoles as well. And yeah, so be sure to like this video, and again, comment and subscribe for everything LEGO gaming. And I'll see you guys next time here on Quick Break Games.